chat.
We are live.
Yay.
Going live is always so weird.
Very exciting.
Like, as usual, for some reason, my thing looks super fuzzy, and then y'all look super clear, and I have no idea what computer just decides when it's time to do live that it won't go clear. Also, food echoing.
What's wrong with your computer?
You said it's
no,
echoing?
I'm hearing an echo.
There is an echo.
Let me see.
Yes. And then I'm saying when I look at it from YouTube, mine looks very poor quality, whereas I see both of you very clearly.
Oh yeah, I do hear the echo.
It's like, we'll figure it out one day. We both were.
Ow. Hey Harley.
Hey. Let me enable the comments.
Oh yeah. Pride and Ginger's here. Hey. Because all I was thinking now is like, oh, I totally forgot about this Black History Month inspired live, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for forgetting.
Why can't I hear you? You're all muffled.
I sound muffled?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see what's happening.
Where's my headphone jack?
Yeah, maybe I need to get my headphones to like center this down. Since everybody is still coming, I'll be right back. As usual, I'm gonna be weird and throw this over my thing so people can't see what's in my house.
Hey, everybody. Brittany has some technical difficulties, but she'll be back.
Oh, Shirley, you and I are always eating in line.
Mm-hmm. I have to have my snacks. Oh, this is more like my dinner.
I have no idea where my stuff is, my extra mic piece or anything. I'm going through a lot. This has been a tough week.
It's been a hard week. How's everybody else's week been? Because it's been
how's everybody doing? Let's talk about y'all. How are y'all doing? Because woo, Mercury out here sitting in her braids, and I'm tired.
I'm pretty okay for once. School's tiring.
You guys have like, wait, when's spring break?
This is the last week of school before spring break.
I knew it was coming close.
Finally, I can go to the rodeo and stuff my face.
Nice.
Oh my God, listen, I'm so excited for the rodeo, and it's all for food-related things.
Wait, what is this rodeo thing?
Oh, okay.
Non-Texans.
Okay, so basically, well, it's not only in Texas, but like the most popular one is in Houston. And basically, the rodeo portion of it is like you go see barrel racing, you see mutton busting, like, you know, kind of country stuff. And then the carnival side of it's like a normal street carnival where they have rides and food and all that stuff.
Nice. So it's kind of like the fair, but with the rodeo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And a concert every night.
Mm-hmm.
And the concerts vary. So you get country, Panic at the Disco. I think K-pop is coming this year. I know Lizzo is coming. I tried.
Oh. It's so hilarious to me how all of Houston was like, why is Lizzo coming for Black Heritage? And that MFer sold out in minutes.
I was on the computer pushing the refresh button, and before I even got into the thing, it was sold out. I was like, okay.
I was so mad.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, because the first Friday of is it the first Friday of the rodeo?
It's the second Friday this year. It's normally the first one.
So
I'm pretty sure.
they have like a Black Heritage Day at the rodeo,
Yeah.
and usually that night it's a Black artist. So I'm trying to think.
For the past 2 years in a row, it's been like really popular artists that you can't go see because it gets sold out really quick. Cardi B was here last year.
Nice.
Yeah, but I go for like my funnel cake.
Yeah, get my sausage on the stick, my turkey leg.
Yep.
All
And
that.
then, because it's Houston, I think this with the barbecue contest, so they have like different contests, like the chili contest, like the smoked meat like so much food.
Oh, and then you can go to the and go see the animals inside the livestock show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
like,
very similar to the North Carolina State Fair, only a little bit more, I guess, interesting. With like the
ours
rodeo.
A little bit more country.
Yeah, ours is more country and it lasts for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
I can't wait.
I'm ready to eat, basically.
Yeah.
It's like,
Let me cut off my diet for the next month.
Listen, two of my coworkers participate in the cook-off things, and one of them he actually won like 2 years in a row. So when he wins, he brings in whatever like.
Ooh.
Sure, it was like these bacon wrapped. It was reversed bacon wrapped poppers.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That does sound really good.
Every year, my dad asks me to do the bungee jump with him.
And every year,
you can bungee jump at the rodeo. It is so horrifying.
And every year you say no or yes.
Every year the line is so long that I'm always just like, oh well, we can't do it. But here's the funny thing: Black Heritage is only on Fridays, and we're Catholic, so we can't eat meat on Fridays. So we stay at the rodeo from the rodeo, the concert, all the way to 1 a.m. until it hits midnight, and we can eat meat.
That's crazy.
So we're there for like the whole time.
Hungry.
I had no idea that was a thing, but now you just told me something new.
Yep, I can't eat meat on Fridays. I actually fast on Fridays, so I don't eat at all on Fridays during Lent.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
that makes sense.
Also, it's thundering here, so if you guys hear like a random like sounds like destruction, it's just thunder.
I looked outside as if I'm in Houston right now. I'm in Huntsville. I don't know why I looked outside.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Or
Yeah,
is
I can hear you.
Okay.
And Oshale, just to let you know, because I bet me and Brittany are like right here.
What?
Brittany and I are both going to the rodeo and still never gonna meet.
How is that possible?
Because she's gonna go with her family where she's comfortable going, and I'm gonna go with my people that I'm comfortable going, and we probably won't even go on the same day.
Probably not. We only go on Black Heritage, and then I'll go with my friends some other point.
Y'all are shameful. Shameful.
She lives in Pearland, okay? I live in the ghetto.
But
We're
still,
gonna fall apart.
Just like a good 30 minutes away. That's a long way away.
Oh, except the freeway that they're putting from Pearland through Third Ward now.
Listen, that freeway is gonna be a disaster.
It is so annoying. They took away our bridge that goes from Fourth Ward to Third Ward, and so like you have to go all the way around to the bayou. This sounds like nonsense to everyone on this live, but
I'm like, what?
Basically, they made it impossible for Houstonians to get anywhere.
Yeah, so like it used to just be like a straight like go here and turn type situation, but now it's like go here, cut here, come around. It's anytime I go, because I go like the Buffalo Stadium or the Buffalo Soldiers Museum, like to do like vending stuff. I have to go around the 100-acre woods to like get there now.
See, Harley said you live in Pearland, classy. See?
Wow.
Listen, I don't know why y'all have to be such. I work in Angleton. It makes no sense for me to live all the way in Houston. Like that is just not cost efficient for anybody.
I'm just used to living in the inner loop. I can't say much.
I'm confused. Is Pearland bad? Is it like
It's
the suburbs.
Oh,
Houston's
okay.
here. here. It's just the suburbs.
But
Okay.
it's like Houston, it has something called the inner loop where you're just in the inner circle of downtown and everything. And I live in Third Ward, and people always say it's like it's so easy to get to me because I'm like close to everything. So
Okay.
going to Pearland to me is just like
It's
Yeah, I have
inconvenient.
to pass her to get to anything.
Okay. I'm starting
Yes.
to sort of understand. Not really.
not really.
I live here for convenience. There are times where I wish I lived in Houston, and then I realize I don't actually have to go into the city of Houston to get work, to get stuff done. And I just feel better about that because traffic in Houston is just
I've heard it's pretty bad.
It's terrible, and people keep on moving to
It-
Houston because they found out that it's like super cheap
Yes.
to live down here. And I'm just like, can y'all
Yes.
please go back to where you came from?
Damn.
I came here for the
Harley straight up shading you, B.
I know, I
She
saw
said
it.
lots of chemical engineers. I'm dead.
Actually, yeah, the neighborhood that I'm moving into, like 2 of the families are engineer families, and I just laughed.
Mm,
I did build a whole house. Y'all are such haters.
the shade of it all.
What's wrong with
The shade.
But you know what? Kudos for Brittany not calling it Houston. People would be like, oh yeah, I live in Houston. I live in Sugarland. I'm just like, it's not Houston. That
Well,
is-
it's because when I first moved here, I moved to Clute, and like when I first moved here, everybody kept telling me that Angleton and stuff was Houston. So living in Clute's not that bad because
Mhm.
you're really close to Houston. I'm like, that's a lie. That ain't Houston.
Mm-mm.
Like you gotta get past 610 to get to Houston, sweetie. And I am a long way away from 610. So yeah, after that, I was like, I live in Pearland, and I drive into Houston. Like now,
And then, it's
ironically,
so funny.
what?
I went to predominantly white high school, and like everyone would be like terrified to come to get me to go places. Like everyone, because Third Ward has such a bad reputation for
Dang.
being so dangerous. Like I think there was like a census that was said like it was like the 14th worst neighborhood in America, and I was just like, it is not that bad. Like,
Not that bad.
people are so. There is a
That's
big
crazy.
ass white school in Third Ward. It is not that bad.
Right.
They did not put the University of Houston in Third Ward. Would it be in that bad?
And
I feel like-
there's a university there.
I feel like the reputation of it is worse than the reality.
It is. There's 2 universities. There's Texas Southern, which is a HBCU, and then there's U of H, which is a PWI.
Yeah. Like,
So it really can't be that unsafe.
No,
They-
they ain't letting none of them kids at U of H be in trouble.
they can't figure out how to gentrify it yet, and that's why they're trying to make it seem like it's a troublesome neighborhood.
Listen, they're trying it because
tried.
they put little exercise equipment on our bio, and my dad was like, "We get in the dog park, and that's it. We're going to move."
That's the beginning of the end.
That's the beginning of the end.
Honestly, it's
A
bad.
dog park or a Target. That's when you know.
Yep, that's it. They even gave us a grocery store. We haven't had a grocery store in years.
Yeah, no.
Oh, no.
So y'all,
Just gave y'all
what
way
should
too
we
much-
start talking about first?
I feel like we should wait until around like 6:30 or 6 announcements, because that's those who are going to be on by that time. Because I've noticed our
Okay.
numbers go up in the middle. So I mean, we can talk about like Black History Month. Granted, everybody and their mama decided they wanted to show they behind this month.
This month was a hot mess. It started off with such a tragic event, and then it just kept getting worse.
Yeah,
Just too much.
I was like, this can't be life. Like I think by the second week of February, I had put my phone. You know how with the iPhone you can
Mhm.
you can set that timer for how long you're on social media.
Yes, me too. I was like, I
had
can't.
to do that because I was like, otherwise I will scroll and just get more and more depressed. Like
Yes. It's like for my own mental health, I've gotta log off.
I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. I mean, where to even begin? I'm trying to think of all the things that happened this month, and I wish I had written it down because I feel like I'm gonna forget some things.
I purposely did not write all the drama that happened. This, ironically, a lot of the drama that I know of happened on Twitter, and that's where I was
about to say.
purposely trying to like drop out of, because I just felt like every day somebody else was getting mad about something, or somebody was pretty much letting us all know that they were racist, or like Barnes and Nobles. Like I remember the Barnes and Nobles was February.
Barnes and Nobles tried it.
Ooh, did they ever?
They
like
tried it, honey.
Y'all ever gonna look at those covers? Like
I did.
I honestly didn't even want to go look at all of them because I just felt myself progressively getting angrier. And
no, like I wouldn't look at I saw the Wizard of Oz one. Listen. Yeah. So Dorothy on the cover of all three, the Black, the and the Native American, they were all carrying sneakers for one. Because I guess like what better way to depict POC and Black people?
Wait.
Yes, girl. Instead of the red pumps.
No, wait.
They're so out of pocket.
Well, we have the wins though. We didn't
no. It gets so much worse. For some reason, the Black girl is wearing a fanny pack. The Native American is wearing traditional like war paint.
Oh my goodness!
Like what?
but also like, you know what kills me is they did it to a bunch of classics that are free online.
Yes. Okay. What is the
like point? You can get, they're in the public domain. Why am I buying this?
Why? And why would I want to buy something that is literally insulting me to my face?
And the authors of all of these books were more than likely racist.
Yeah.
I was just like, let me get this straight. I'm gonna buy a book where you stereotypically drew a Black girl cover with a fanny pack and sneakers. And the Black girl had on red lipstick. Like she was like over-sexualized. Like she had on red lipstick and makeup. And I'm just like, so wait, first of all, this book is not about a Black woman.
No. So
look at the cover and think, oh my gosh, open it. This is not the same.
Yeah. It's pandering. I just want to know what intern thought this up. And they were just like, yes.
It was not an intern. It was like a Betsy DeVoe type of woman who's completely detached from her audience, the people that she's supposed to actually be supporting, completely detached because even their apology let me know that like there were a lot of big people who were happy with that project.
Yeah.
Wow. Who was it? I can't remember. I feel like it was either in someone's stand-up or something where they said that every huge corporation, maybe it was on The Real, that talk show, needs a Jamal the intern to like cross-check these things. Jamal, what you think? No.
Nah, this ain't it, sis.
Hired, like where they just be like, so we have this idea, and the person just like, no.
And the amount of people it would have had to have gone through to get okayed, and every single one of them okayed it. I'm just like, none of y'all saw anything wrong with it.
No, which is really just.
I just laugh because I'm just like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised any per se that people are still doing this type of insensitive crap, but I'm more annoyed that people are still trying to defend stupid people when they do stupid stuff like this. Because it's like, oh, well, she didn't mean it like that. Intent has nothing to do with the execution of the project. Because, like, instead of just highlighting Black authors who have taken the stories and modernized them, that would attract a younger crowd, y'all are going to just blackface the covers of white classics,
which I mean, it's not doing any demographic like any good. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And honestly, especially when you think of it as people who read books, we read these books specifically when we were kids. We weren't looking for people to look like us. We knew they weren't going to look like us. There was really no reason to ever brown face or black face them. Like I knew Alice was white. I didn't need clarification. I didn't need some new version on a book. Like I'm fine.
Who was complaining about the classics weren't black? Who?
Like,
There was
They
somebody.
were set in, right? They were set in like super old England.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're like English-based, European-based classics. So, I mean,
well, naturally, I know that this old Edgar Allan Poe short story doesn't have any black people in it. Like it's not that big of a deal. I still probably enjoyed it. So I mean, and even to date, like I read stuff all the time where the person isn't black or a POC, like, and I just continue to read it. There are plenty of books I like that don't have POCs in it. I just don't understand what the point of already established books being a thing and then you taking it and putting brown people in the front of it. Like there's a whole bunch of books you could have put out and said, hey, there's a new version of Alice in Wonderland and she's black. There's a new version of Cinderella and she's this. Like, there was different ways to do that. And that was just a terrible way of going about it.
they would have been better off commissioning like retellings or reimaginings of each story and getting like a popular Black, a popular Native American, if they can find one, because they really aren't looking, a popular Asian, you know what I'm saying? YA author or popular best-selling author to reimagine a story from a classic and then do the covers. Like that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I'm also not trying to be funny, but it was Black History Month, so why did every other group of POC
Because that's what they always do.
like, so
all lives matter, guys.
Right. It's like, I get it, but like we could have literally just highlighted Black people this month, and then when it was Native American month, do a massive overhaul of the authors and showcase them. Like it's like instead of showcasing the change that's actually happening, like they had to remind us.
They just want to do it all, and they want to make Black history an umbrella, and they just want to shove every other minority's history under that and get it out of the way and be like, well, we
did our due diligence
in February. Like, wait, what?
It's like, oh, I'm trying to think, like, what other, I don't remember, and I'm probably like pushed it out of my head, but if anybody in the chat remembers, like, what other, because like I'm trying to think of my nerd idol Catherine passed away.
I know.
Oh yeah.
That was sad.
I was like, I just knew you. I just figured out who you were. Like,
That was sad.
I was so mad. I was like, this month is short month away. Like,
you know what I wanted to ask you guys? My brother actually sent me this on Facebook where it was like for Black History Month, everyone put down how old you were when you had your first Black male teacher. Did you guys ever have one in general? A male Black teacher? 6th grade?
I had one. High school.
Mine was 4th grade, I think. He was my computer teacher. So not my main teacher, but my computer.
Yeah.
He taught our math, and he taught the math and something else. I also really hated him. It was bad.
Oh.
I don't think I hated any of mine.
My math teacher.
Black teachers.
Yikes. His name was Mr. Leathers. I love him to this day. I run into him from time to time. And he's always like, oh, Shalay. And I'm like, Mr. Leathers.
Mine, I got more as I got older. Like when I got to, it's crazy, as my grandmother's been a teacher. She was a teacher for over 40 years. And when I got to, I think 5th grade, I went to a school in 3rd Ward, and I had the worst homeroom teacher. He was this white guy. I'm not going to say his name because I'm just not going to say his name. But, and she told me, she was just like, back when she first started teaching, what they did was they removed all the good Black teachers out of the hoods and ghettos, put them into white schools, and then took all of the white teachers that were terrible and put them into predominantly POC schools. And I was just like, that makes so much sense because this man is a psychopath. And I just could not stand him. But when I got to middle school, I was thinking about this a couple of days ago. I got to middle school. It was like 8th grade. 6th grade. We did this thing called rotation classes. And it it was like giving you options for when you go to 7th grade what your electives would be. And so this is really not funny. This is so racist. So I was pretty much the only Black kid in my rotation class, and not in the school. There was a lot of Black kids in the school, but I was the only one in my rotation class. This is an all-white school. We had to do a poetry reading in the like speech and debate or whatever, right? And so I was just like, I don't like public speaking, and it was a guy teacher who was white, and I was just like, I don't want to do this. I was trying to get out of it, and so I guess he thought I was having trouble connecting to the poems, right? And so I was sitting at this table with like 3 other white girls, and he was like, Troy, I have a poem that I think would really resonate with you. And I was just like, okay. Y'all, he put the thing down, and even the white girls next to me were like, he gave me I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. I was like, and I just sat there and I was like, he had Langston Hughes poems. He had a million other poems, and he chose that one. And I was just like, I remember telling myself, I was like, maybe he doesn't know this literal poem is about childhood abuse. And he was just, and I was just like, you know what? I just ignored it. I learned the poem front to back. He even had Phenomenal Woman listed down, but he gave me that one. And I was just like, you know what? I got in the car with my dad. He asked me what poem I had chose because he knew I had to choose a poem. And I gave it to him, and he was so excited for me to learn the poem. I was like, I'm not about to tell him that he basically only gave me this poem because I was the only Black kid in there. I was just like, but stuff like that happened to me. It was like, and it's a lot of times I didn't realize how much stuff I was going through in middle school because it was so like covert. And I got older, and I was just like, you know what? That was really out of pocket. Like, I know why it's a phenomenal poem. Like, it's done by one of the greatest women in history. But why that poem? What did he look at me and say? This girl's so quiet. She doesn't do nothing. I was like, sir, I just didn't want to talk to you. Like, I was so done. I was just like, bro, and the rotation classes only lasted about a couple of weeks. So I only had to have them, like, after that poem thing was done, we went to a different rotation class. I was like, well, I knew I wasn't taking this originally, but now I'm definitely not taking it. That's insane. Just period.
Wow. I don't even know what to say, but I'm not surprised.
No, their teachers like, it just really depends on, I guess, the situation, because I had some teachers that were great. Like, I had some Black teachers at the same school, quite a few actually. But one of them was, she told us, I'm not joking. She told us there was this one girl, she ended up getting caught for having a wrong address and got kicked out, right? And she was a Black girl. And, in my Texas history class, our teacher was Black. She was a Black woman. And it was a group of us, all of the Black girls sat together, and she turned to us, I'm not joking, and she goes, if it was my decision, all of you would be gone. And we all looked at each other, and we all knew she was a BITCH, but we just figured she was just a bitter BITCH. But then when she said that, we were like, yo, what is going on?
I have no words.
Like it was so, I was like, bro, get me out of this class, get me out of this school. Like, oh my God. We were so shook. Like, to date, I have really people like ask me if I remember that.
Brittany is speechless.
Brittany is done.
You guys have to remember, like, I didn't go to school in the States. So
that's true, you didn't.
Yeah.
I'll be like, wait, I'm sorry. A teacher said what to you? Because
oh that is wild.
One time a teacher tried to be racist. I told my mother And it ended up being all of the Black mothers in that class showed up to her that one day, and she didn't work at that school anymore because, like, so I'm very confused that this woman still has a job.
I thought all your moms got B on this woman.
I didn't even,
like, excuse me, what was that?
I didn't even know that the teacher was being racist. I went home and told my mom the story like it was completely fine, and my mom was like, "Oh, Alton, you need to come home early. I need to go to the school." Like, and then all the other ones like, "Did your daughter tell you what happened in so-and-so class? Ask her. I'll meet you at the school in 30 minutes."
Your mom was about that life.
She was not the one.
She was like, "Brittany, what she did to you was racist." And I was like, "She's not racist. She likes all of us." And she was like, "No, she didn't." And I was like, "Oh." I was distraught. I was like, "Why didn't do anything? Why would she try to do that? Why would?" Yeah, because
That's
again,
so sad, y'all.
talk about that kind of stuff. Or people who don't know, I grew up in Japan, and then I grew up on a lot of military bases. And yeah, now that I'm older, I realize there were a lot of people that I encountered, but for the most part, you know, it wasn't like I'm only going to be with these people. It was literally like, "Yo, how long your daddy got you? How long y'all stationed here? 2 years? Oh, where? Yeah, we leave next year. Like, let's just be friends because we ain't gonna see each other anyway." So it was like a different, like, I didn't experience that type of crap until my senior year of high school when I moved back to the States. And I was just like, "Is this really American schools? American schools are trash. Can I go back?"
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's a lot more overt here, and it's just like, it's just bad. And it's sad because these people are in a position of power over you. So as a student, there's not a lot that you can do.
And especially because she was right and all of us had fake addresses. So if she really had proof, she could have done it.
Damn.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I cannot deal.
Wow.
I was gonna say
all breaking the law.
Yep. Every last one of us.
I will say that I've noticed, because I actually had 3 Black teachers before high school. My 3rd grade teacher, and then my 2 6th grade teachers. And I do believe that without those teachers, I don't think I would have wanted to continue education or anything. But like, I had really good influential teachers throughout my life. Like I said, the one teacher that tried it, it's Dodds. She didn't work that long. They sent her right back to the States. Oh,
Lord.
I had some pretty influential teachers as well. It's just, you know, the terrible ones always just stick out to you. You know, I've had quite a few terrible ones, but I've had a lot of influential ones.
I didn't have any terrible teachers, and luckily, except for when I moved to the States, I can say no. But once I moved to the States, I had 3 teachers that were absolutely horrible. Well, I also hated my senior year, to preface that as well. My senior year was absolutely horrible. So most of my memories associated with that is just trash.
There was this one teacher in my high school, my last year, I'm not going to say, I think she still works there, so I'm not going to say her name or what she teaches. But like, she was a white lady, and it was known that she loved Black people, but she only loved the extra, I speak in Ebonics, ratchet type Black people. Yes, Tiffany Haddish type Black people. So if you came and dapped her up, all of a sudden your grade kind of went up a little bit. And you was just, I'm not joking. Like, it was like a well-known fact that she
loved the minstrel show, basically.
Yeah, basically. She taught the basic level math. And so like that's all her kids were, you know, basically all of us were either Black kids or Hispanics. So she just loved the extra ghetto ones. And if someone literally like
she wanted
sat
to be
next
Sandra
to her,
Bullock in The Blind Side.
Honestly, like someone sat next to her and just would like mess with her the whole entire class period.
That movie bothers.
Isn't it a true story?
It still bothers them.
God,
was watching it, I was like,
I was not ready to make a Blind Side reference. Like, what?
but am I wrong?
Oh,
I
God.
My grandma always says that white
Rural
people
white
think they
female teachers that
vigilantes.
go into these like inner city schools have this like romanticized idea of like going in and saving all the black children and teaching them
Oh,
how to
have
read.
fun. Have fun with Brittany's book club picks in.
Oh no. Don't set me up for this.
You know what? Ocean like DNFs every book we do anyway.
Damn, boy, come for me.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Now what I'm gonna do is if I feel like DNFing it, I'm just gonna go find the Wikipedia notes. Read up on them real quick.
Let's be real. We know a lot of booktubers who probably do that on a regular basis after they said they
Oh, the shade.
but repeat to that.
Oh my god.
Let us stop. We're not going down that road.
Oh my god.
We're not.
Who wants to
All right.
who wants to go to the announcements?
Say it
I'll
again.
let one of y'all do it. Who wants to make the announcements?
I can make them.
Yeah, go ahead, Oshalai.
So y'all may have noticed on our various social media handles that we have rebranded, or we are in the process of rebranding. This is just phase 1. But starting from now, I suppose we will no longer be known as A Seat at the Table Book Club. It was a really great name. It's a really great song. But there actually is another A Seat at the Table Book Club already. And when I thought of the name, I didn't realize it until it was like, kind of too late. And I was just kind of like, oh, there is already another A Seat at the Table Book Club. But it was kind of like, oh, well, we'll just continue on. But we've been wanting to rebrand for a while. And we've also wanted to branch out into the podcasting world. So in a very tedious, about 5 hours of research, we realized A Seat at the Table Book Club podcast is just too damn long. So we tried.
It is a long name.
Oh my God, very long. So we try to find like a variety of different like ways of saying a seat at the table, like take a seat, have a seat, here's a seat, take what up seat. All of them were taken. All of them were already taken and some were trademarked. So we just kind of brainstormed until we came up with what we have now, which is Black Prose, which we really like it. We think that it pretty much encapsulates everything that we're trying to do. We're trying to uplift Black authors and Black writers, but we're also branching out more into talking about topics about within the Black community across the diaspora, within the Black community on BookTube, on YouTube, and just everything that, you know, we want to represent moving forward, especially with us launching our podcast coming soon. So stay tuned for that. So from now on, we will be known as Black Prose Book Club. And then our podcast is Black Prose Podcast, which is coming soon. So we just wanted to announce that. And we are no longer a seat at the table. We have already taken our seats. Y'all are here. We're moving on to phase 2.
Phase 2. I like that.
Phase
Right?
You make the announcements so well.
I try. I just keep talking until something good comes out. But so that's where we are now. And we are also on Twitter. We are also on
Yeah.
Black Prose Club. So please go follow us. Also, we have another YouTube channel that we will be using specifically for our podcast. So for those of you that have been asking for podcasts for a while and that love listening to podcasts, you can go subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is Black Prose Podcast, I believe.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
We
So
just
definitely,
also give us kind of some slack.
yeah, we literally just made it like a couple of days ago. So definitely go subscribe. We're gonna have the links in this video too, so you can come back and click the links and it'll take you directly. And then I'm gonna let Brittany talk about our little extra surprise that we have. Take it away, Brittany.
So, in addition to changing our name, rebranding, we really want merch, like really bad. And so we're just doing a little trial run here just to see how it works. And we figured the first thing that we should probably is Monster Smut. So, in honor of Monster Smut, if you go to www.teespring, actually, if you look in the description box right now, while this live is happening, you'll see a link. And if you click that link, you should be directed to some Monster Smut stuff.
You guys,
I made sure to add it to purpose and see if anybody paid attention to that link. But just in case you didn't, you can literally check the description box right now. You can either get it on a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, or a hoodie. And I tried to include as many colors as possible. And I already ordered mine. It's not here yet, but I've already ordered it. And I'm getting the dark green sweatshirt. And I ordered the black t-shirt and the dark green sweatshirt. But we collectively as a group really like Monster Smut and think it's hilarious. And for some reason, just saying the words makes me smile. So I figured, why not start with Monster Smut?
Yes.
Plus, I'm addicted to reading it now. So there's that.
I know. I'm addicted to it. It's pretty bad. I'm just falling down the rabbit hole of alien romance. We will discuss it at a later time because I can talk about it for hours.
That's wonderful. I can't wait.
Romances. We need to have a live devoted just to alien romances.
Y'all are gonna be like, this is so disturbing. Why?
I feel like I'm probably gonna have this like that weird look on my face the whole time, but I want it to happen because you keep telling me that that you're into it, and I'm like, what is in this story that is keep pulling you in? Like,
it is so.
In Oshile's defense, it's so obscure. It's amazing.
And it's so like I'm just like, who thought this would be okay? And why do I enjoy this so much?
Wait, I'm curious, how many Monster Smut books have you read since our Monster Smut live?
Oh, girl. Maybe like 12.
Damn.
I found one author and then I just binged everything she had. And then I found another author and I'm just binging everything that she has. Because like I said, it's very obscure. So the authors that I'm finding, usually like I'll read like the first couple pages on Kindle and I'm like, wow, this is really bad. So when I find someone that's good, then I just like binge everything that they've written.
I get that. I do that.
Yup.
You know, in the fantasy realm, not alien love stories. But
I was talking to one of my good friends about it, and she was like, so basically, it's like the next level of interracial romance because it's like interspecies romance.
Interspecies romance.
Yeah, almost basic.
I have nothing.
Welcome to the club, Oshile.
Thank you, Harley. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
But
I am done.
Because she was like, you always like reading those interracial romances. Now you've like taken it up a notch.
Now you're just going up the ladder.
Oh, wow.
But yes, hopefully, yeah. I don't know how long we're gonna run the Monster Smut. It might go until the last month of this quarter, and then we might come out with like a different shirt for next quarter. But Monster Smut really stuck with us for this quarter. It's like a running joke now. So yeah,
we had to, y'all.
Yeah,
I've actually read a lot of them as mangas because there's a lot in the manga variety.
Oh yeah, in manga there's a lot, but I those panels because I'm always like weird. Oh.
I think no.
Cerebral said, wait,
what?
The African honey shifters.
Ooh.
We know what Oshile is doing tonight.
Yeah.
The sad thing is I really want to know what the African honey shifters are.
I'm fascinated.
Because I feel like the answer that we're gonna get is gonna be so off the wall that I'm gonna be sitting here looking stupid.
I'm curious. Okay.
This
I'm
head
gonna
wrap.
But you know what? In retrospect, it's really not that odd because I mean, in fantasies, there'll be like fairies fucking fairies, or you know, some demon monster having sex with a human. So
all of those, I'm still like, so wait, how is?
I think what happens in YA fantasy a lot is that the interspecies romance is disguised because whoever is of the other species is like in some kind of human camouflage. It's like they're really a demon from hell, but they look like that really hot guy in math class. Like, you know?
yeah, basically.
Ancient Magus Bride's Beauty and Beast dynamic is wonderful.
Huh.
It's called Hot and Badger.
I am dead.
It's like a weird porno.
I need these titles to be better.
That title is amazing.
Let me just say this though. I do need the titles and the covers to be a little bit better because y'all gonna die. But you know how on your Kindle you can automatically update to Goodreads right from your Kindle when you finish reading a book. Yeah. I turned that shit off. I was like, I do not have any judgment. I will upload at the end of the year. I will upload at the end of the year because I don't need this.
Oh, Chalet, you and I are the same person because when I like buy a book from Amazon, it automatically goes to Goodreads. I'm like, no.
I'm like, I can't do this right now. I can't. I don't need these direct messages. Like, what the hell is this? I can't.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And you know what's so funny? My aunt always asks me because we both love to read. Even my mom, but I'm not embarrassed to say stuff to my mom. But my aunt is so prim and proper that she'll be like, "Oh, Nini, what are you reading?" And it's like the front cover is always some white guy with abs, and I'm just like, nothing. And I just slowly close it.
I always have like one decoy book that is like super literary. I'm reading it too, but slower. I'll be like, oh, I'm reading Pride and Prejudice again. Like
for the 100th time.
And maybe I am and maybe I'm not, you know?
Oh my goodness.
Because I just don't want to answer the questions. I'll be like, I don't need the judgment. My Kindle is a judgment-free zone.
It is my headquarters. Questionable.
My Kindle died like a year ago, and I just never got a new one, and I feel deprived without it.
That's really sad. You need to fix that after you.
I just have it on my phone.
I started being responsible and saving for a house, and now I'm just sitting here. Can you hurry up so I can like start?
That's why I said after you move into your house.
Yeah, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being responsible. Onyx Reads has like a whole list of new sci-fi and fantasy books she bought, and I kind of feel like I need like the ones that she named.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I can't buy them right now. Like, cause she did a
book haul
that was like, so.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that haul. I haven't watched it yet though.
Everybody in the comments apparently has turned their Goodreads off on their Kindle.
Look, that judgment is real.
I mean, I think on my Goodreads thing, I literally had it to where I wanted to read one book this year because I was like, y'all are about to stress me out every time I go look on Goodreads and it's like, you're 6 books behind your goal, sis.
Oh my god, it's so aggressive. I'm like, why are you so loud though?
Yeah. It's like if I read 2 books this month, that's an accomplishment. Go somewhere and sit down.
I know.
I think I read like 4.
I've already I've already reached my Goodreads goal, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, like I set mine to 1 so that it would never tell me I'm like basically failing.
I set mine to 75.
That's good. I think mine was at 30.
Oh no, I read 1, 2, 3. I read 3 books. No, I read 4 books.
I read 3.
The Good Luck Girls.
How was that one?
Okay, so I read 2 books that were on my list of books I need to read because they were written by Black women. The Good Luck Girls by Charlotte Nicole Davis and then A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. and I got 2 different reactions from both books. I loved The Good Luck Girls. Like,
Okay.
The Good Luck. So, has anybody watched The Harlots on Hulu?
Mm-mm.
So basically, The Good Luck Girls is like The Harlots, that kind of storyline where it's a, I'm gonna call it a whorehouse because that's just what it is.
Bordello, house, whatever.
Yeah. So it's a girl, her name is Clementine. It's her night, you know, her Vinny has been bidded on, and it's finally time for her to girls, what they call the girls after they've been initiated, essentially. And this is not a spoiler because this is literally the premise of the book. Things did not go well that night. Actually ended in murder. So her sister, and some of the other girls escape the house, and they're on the run the entire book. And surprisingly, like, the book actually like addresses PTSD. It addresses assault. It addresses so much in like a weird way because it's just young girls who have, like, you know, this is the life that they were pretty much forced into.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they're also discriminated against because in this particular world, there are people with shadows and people without shadows, and the people without shadows, they consider them like trash.
Oh,
so that's also a thing. And most of them are the ones that work in the whorehouse. So it was a very interesting. Like, when I finished the book, I was like, if she came out with another one, continued this story, to read it. Like, I want to know what happens after this.
Now I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I highly recommend it.
I've seen this cover.
Okay, so the cover is totally misleading. Like, you look at that cover and you don't think about what the book is actually about.
No. I thought it was going to be some like Wild West fantasy or something.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, also, Tia, which your T is right. Nigeri definitely shouted me out on her last video because she ordered stickers from my shop. And
Yay!
She was my first Canadian order. So I have this thing where I have a map in my office where whenever I get an order from a different country, I color it in. So
That's
she
cute.
she was the first Canadian order, so I got to color it in.
That's
which
awesome.
Means you got a couple extra things that most people don't know is in the shop because it was more like, oh my God, I have an international order.
That's so amazing. That is so cool. I'm so glad that she's supporting you.
Yeah, it was great. I was like geeking out on myself, and I was like, "You have to open the box. You have to open it, and I have to see you open it because I'm just gonna have a session for like 2 more seconds, and then I'm gonna go back to being a professional." Like, oh my God, I don't even. Yeah, I haven't talked about American Dirt. I actually had no desire to read American Dirt before the scandal. But I am intrigued. Like, I want to know if people actually went ahead and read it.
Wait, I know I'm out of the loop.
Okay, so American Dirt is essentially, if I'm not mistaken, it's a book about
it's on Oprah's book club.
Yeah, Oprah endorsed it, but apparently, basically, the Latino community felt like that book was trash and did not represent them. It was also written by a white woman, so she was completely detached. And they basically were like, why wouldn't you let like a Latino tell this story? But you know, she had already gotten like what is the word when you get like your she got paid to write the book, like a bunch. She got an advance, like a big ass advance, like before it, and it caused a lot of backlash, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, you guys are just being ridiculous." Basically, they were telling the Latino community that felt offended to stop being offended because like it's not that serious. Basically, is what they were telling them, and I was just like, ironically, that also reminds me of another book that apparently received backlash that I had no idea about.
Wait, before we talk about that other book, I would just like to say I looked up American Dirt really quick on Amazon, and these reviews are out of control.
Yep.
You either have people giving it 1 star and going in, or people giving it 5 stars and saying it's amazing. There's like no
and
middle ground.
I'm guessing the ones that gave it a 5-star were writing it more for the author because they feel like she's being bullied because she's a white woman who, according to Cerebral, started her life in Europe. So she's like as as you can possibly get.
Probably.
I agree. There might be some exaggeration in the anger, but at the same time, I noticed that there was a real serious push to dismiss their feelings. And I was like, I get it. We're all allowed to have our different opinions, but if the community that the story is telling you,
that's what I'm saying. How are you going to write about a group of people and then when they are like, this is not us, like this does not, I don't recognize us in this, we don't recognize ourselves, then you get mad at them? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but Barnes and Noble and Oprah don't seem to care because they're still stuck with
Oprah has been very questionable recently, though. So there's also that.
Man. I'm not talking about Oprah. She's got minions everywhere. I don't need that smoke.
Amen. So what was the other book that you were going to mention before?
Dread Nation.
Yeah, that was surprising. That was another Black History Month-ish, like, whoa, what is happening right now? They were talking about the fact that apparently she completely disregarded Native American people and Native American history in her book. And I was just so taken aback by that because I guess I just didn't see that when I read the book. But people made some some actual Native American people, some indigenous people made some great points. And I was just kind of like, huh.
Well, yeah, I went back and read some of their points because I literally, like you, I read this book and I loved it. I saw it from a completely different.
Yeah, I did not see that at all. And maybe that was like my privilege and like.
Right. So what I plan to do at some point is actually go back and read it.
Now that
I read how they feel, I want to go back and read it and see. And like I get rather the parts of the book where there are Native Americans mentioned in the story and they're offended, I completely understand that. But the one thing that I didn't like, or rather the one thing that I don't understand, not that I didn't like, that I don't understand, is they were mad that they weren't featured more in the story because
I was like, but this wasn't the story.
Yeah, and I was confused by that. The parts where they said that they were mentioned in the story and like they were offended, those parts I read it and I was like, oh my gosh, was that in the book? Like I need to go back and read this book because I read the book.
Right?
That like how did I like if it's that offensive, how the heck did I miss this in the book? So I feel like I need to go back. I haven't even read Deathless Divide yet.
Me neither.
I'm going back to intently listen on Dread Nation to be like, how did I miss this? Because dang, I had no idea that she basically managed to like piss off like a whole group of people. But the part where they felt like they should have been included in the story, my question to that is why?
That was my thing too, because I was just like, well, first of all, it's not your story. It's not featuring you. You're not at the center of the story. I can understand your anger if you feel like, okay, we're not the center of the story. We're on the outskirts, but our representation is completely unacceptable. That I'm willing, like you, to go back, take a second look, third look, dig deeper. But the whole like, why aren't we centered more? That I don't agree with, because I'm like, it's not your story. It wasn't about you.
Yeah, but if she just trickled them in for like effect, yeah, then I'm asking the same questions that they were asking, like why were they not depicted correctly? But again, I read that book 2 years ago.
Harlan's saying some things though.
Oh, let me put her stuff up here. Oh, that was another thing. And you're right. The author, Justina Ireland, apparently like she never addressed their concerns. And I'm not saying that like authors should have to, but I feel like when there's that kind of, why would it show? Hold on. There we go. It says, well, the thing is, in the time period, Native Americans were heavily prevalent in the slave era politics. So writing about it, even in a zombie thing, Next one. It makes sense that they would have been more prominent.
But it's a fantasy.
Native American politics tied very closely with Black slavery politics, as well as with both the treatment and their influence on each other. Again,
if it was a historical, but this is a fantasy, so she can change things. Does that make sense? Like, that's how I came to it as. I came to it as, okay, if this was a historical, then yes, that is not okay. She needs to fix that. But if it's a fantasy, then you can change it. It doesn't have to follow history if it's a fantasy. So she needs to make that clear. Like, was she erring more towards like historical with zombies, or is this just completely a fantasy and she just changed that?
Here's the next part. So if you write about you almost can't not include Native Americans. Like, they don't have to be centered, but it makes more sense to be more heavily present. And again, for me, because this book is a perfect example of Black speculative, in the sense that like it goes back in a time and like changes the story. But it's Black speculative fantasy as well. And I feel like the problem and the reason why so many people are still upset is because the author has never
she's not addressing it. She's not answering.
Yeah, like do you hear these people asking you why? And it's your baby. It's your story. It's your book. Why would you not answer this question? That is the number one question that I saw when I saw the people that were angry about Dread Nation. Like, they felt like they're like, why would you just completely erase us from the story? Why take the time to answer that? Like, also being, we're Black, we've been erased from how many stories?
Many. So
it's like, from thinking about it like that, it's like, I understand why they are like, well, where were we? But at the same time, I also remember Black speculative fantasy also opens the door to where it doesn't have to be historically accurate. I mean, they're zombies. But
that's my thing. I'm like, look, if you're going to write a historical fiction novel, then yes, please be historically accurate. Do your research and don't exclude things that actually factually happen. But if it's a fantasy story, then you can do whatever you want. It's your world. It's a fantasy. But she needs to answer those questions.
Yeah, she's basically trying to pretend like, well, it's just Twitter. If I don't answer it, it doesn't matter. And it's like, sis, answer their questions. Because if the tables were turned and it was us asking, like, I would be wondering why I wasn't getting a response. Like, right. we're the people supporting you. We're the people reading your books. We're the people pushing your books to other people if you can't answer our questions. And I get it. Authors are people too. And they're probably sensitive about their shit. I totally get that too. Artists are. Like, I don't like when people question my stuff. It makes me defensive. It makes me immediately want to like jump on them because it's like, why are you questioning my stuff? Like, this is mine. But I feel like as a writer, sometimes your message is not always conveyed correctly, or rather people don't receive your message the way that you wanted them to receive it. And the only way to explain that is to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I brings up a good point about like, if we make that argument with fantasy, then we also, that comment.
Yeah, I was reading.
But here's the thing: when I read a fantasy, I don't wonder why there are no Black people, because that's the author's prerogative. Like, when everybody was dragging Sarah J. Maas because she never has Black people in her books, I was just kind of like, she don't have to though. You know what I mean? Like, she's a fantasy writer. Like, she really doesn't have to. And I would actually prefer for her not to do it. If she doesn't know how to write Black characters and she's not familiar with Black culture and Black people, please don't do it.
Plus, they're not going to say they're Black. They're going to say, well, he's in the crowd and he stands out because his skin is darker than the others. Like, what?
He's caramel. He's
legit. I was reading it and I'm like, oh, he's Black.
Like, what was that? Six of Crows? And what is it, those books that they did that in? Lord.
Oh my God. So I'm going to read Six of Crows at some point this year so that I can finally give like real, because, Six of Crows is one of those book series that's really popular on BookTube. And I've always wondered, like, why is it popular?
Is that the one
Not
coming
because,
to Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I want to read it, because I want to know what, like, I know this is stupid and I know this is probably dumb, but I love reading books and like watching people get mad that the characters aren't like who they imagined in the story. So that's another reason why I'm reading it. But I do want to know why BookTube goes so hard for Six of
It goes
Crows.
so hard. And isn't there like a companion series to it?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's the characters that people like kind of become fans of, and then they become obsessed with them. But to finish out that question about like wondering why there aren't more Black people in books, I don't really care in fantasy. What I don't like is when authors write like contemporary fiction and there's a whole entire town and there are no people of color in the town. In any book that they write, like they've written 25 books, like John Green books. I'm not coming for John Green, but I'm just saying like he tends to write like a similar style, like, it's contemporary. It's like about some whiny teenage, like emo teenage people who are going through their shit. Like it would bother me if an author consistently wrote contemporary books that took place in similar places, but there were never any people of color that the characters interacted with ever. Not even a cashier, not even like that is weird to me. Like I'm just like.
Or my favorite ones are when they claim they are including the Black characters and they're the most stereotypical. I'm only here for belief.
Or they die after like a couple years. Like huge stereotypes. That stuff bothers me. That is when it bothers me because I'm just like, well, you are mirroring the world that we currently live in because you're writing contemporary fiction and it doesn't mirror the world that we currently live in. It's not a fantasy. It's not a made up world. It's not a sci-fi world. It's not something that you've made out of your imagination. It's literally like the world we live in today.
And also, I feel like, especially in the sense for historical and contemporary, because those things are, you know, like you said, doing day-to-day world stuff. You know, I have people all the time who know my favorite show was Gilmore Girls ask me, oh, did you like watch it in your childhood or did you watch it in your adulthood? And I was like, oh, I watched it in my childhood. Like I was a kid when I watched it originally. And they're just like, oh, like rewatching it now, like how do you feel about there being like no Black people in it and like as main characters? And I was just like, well, I never really thought about it as a kid because I never really saw anybody, like unless I was watching Sister, That's So Raven, they weren't Black. So I wasn't really tripping off of it. And I watch Gilmore Girls now and I'm just like, I literally don't care. But in that setting, you know, it's like, okay, but why aren't there any minorities anywhere? Like there's actually a Tumblr page now and it's a joke of the Black background characters in Gilmore Girls. They're just like post pictures of each one that's in there. And it's like very scarcely are there even like in the Stars Hollow. I mean, there even have her extras.
Best friend, right? The Asian girl.
Yeah, that was pretty much. And she's like half from Argentina. Her dad's Argentinian. I don't think people know that.
I mean, it low key bothers me. Like shows like Friends, Gilmore Girls. Like I still enjoy these shows. Don't get me wrong. Like one of my favorite shows of all time is One Tree Hill, and I think they had like maybe 2 or 3 Black characters the entire 9 seasons of that show. Like it bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. Like after a while, I'm like,
there ain't no Black people in it.
Like when I'm binge watching, after a while, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop right now.
Yeah, but see, then if you think with shows like that, though, it's like, for instance, the Gilmore Girls revival. In the background of it, there's more minorities in it in the revival because of the time period. Yeah. I don't want anyone on the Gilmore Girls set of 2000 and whatever to put no caricature of anybody in their show because they are not going to be some normal character who's just doing normal stuff. They're going to be the epitome of like Tiffany Haddish meets Felicia. Like it's going to be too much.
That is so true. It's kind of like it's that middle or double-edged sword because it's like if they're not going to do it justice and they're not going to do it well, representation well, then okay, yeah, don't do it. You made the right choice. Don't do it at all. Because I would be more upset if you attempted it and it was like a complete like every stereotype you could throw in, you did. That would really be more upsetting. That'd be worse.
Yeah. Oh, Cerebral girl, listen. There were so many people that were so mad when I was like, FYI, Friends is the white spinoff, or the white, I was like, Friends is the white reboot of Living Single.
How did people not know this? They literally
I
came
know.
out like right away. Like Living Single got canceled, and then all of a sudden, magically, we have Friends. Like
On the same network.
On the same network. It was very obvious. It was like, oh.
A lot of people kind of act like Friends was like the forerunner. Like they're like, Friends is what really started the sitcom with the friend. Like, no, sweetie. Living Single, the show where all of the people on there were having full careers, not just chilling at a coffee shop.
That's actually why I never watched Friends, because I remember like Friends came out when I was in middle school, and all my friends were obsessed and they would watch it, and I did not watch it because I was watching Living Single, and then all of a sudden it got canceled, and then all of a sudden there's Friends, and it's literally the same show. And I think I was too young to consciously like connect the dots in the sense of being like, wait a minute. But there's just something about it that I was like, okay, so you've replaced the show that I did like with a similar show, but with an all-white cast, but it's not as good. So why am I watching it? That was literally me. I was like, but it's not as good though.
Like, I know a lot of people that love Friends, and I was like, real talk, I don't enjoy it. Like, I did not enjoy it. Because especially since like that was right around the time where first of all, Living Single and A Different World were two shows that made me feel like, college was gonna be lit.
Mm-hmm.
And that after college, I was gonna take my college girlfriend. We were all gonna move to the city together, get an apartment, and be successful, happy people. That's what like. So in my mind, like I literally was like forming my coffee shop all day. Like we got things to do. Like I'm gonna be.
And you know what's so funny? I've seen a lot of Friends episodes because it's my maternal's aunt like favorite show. So I've seen a lot of it, and we used to watch it all the time because my mom also really loves it. But I wasn't super into it. Like the most fun I had was when I was, I think, in middle school when reruns was. I mean, they still on all the time, but it was always a rerun my mama watched. The most fun I would have is clapping in the intro song. And the only other time I've ever I actually really think about it is me and my friend will jokingly go, "We were on a break," and I think that's like the only things I've ever like retained from Friends. Ever.
I was forced to watch it because, like you said, there's reruns all the time, and a lot of my best friends in college were obsessed with the show. They had the box sets; they were watching it all the time. So at some point, I've probably seen 97% of that entire show, like in its entirety. But like I said, I just didn't. It wasn't, and it's not because it was an all-white cast. I just didn't think it was as good as Living Single.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just didn't think it was as good. It gets better as the show progresses, like as you get into the older seasons, and there's more character development. But it's kind of like with Sex and the City. Like I like that, but I preferred Girlfriends.
Ooh, I love Girlfriends.
You know what I mean?
I was way too young to be rewatching that.
It's like I like Sex and the City, but I prefer Girlfriends.
Have you guys ever noticed this? That like Cerebral brings up a good point. Like this also falls back to the idea that there was never representation of Black success in mainstream media, but there was. Have you guys ever noticed that like the same time you can trace like every major show that had a correlation to a Black show that was canceled?
What?
So Living Single had successful Black people with full careers, full ambitions, living their life and making it through to the coffee shop Friends. I will always refer to them as coffee shop Friends. That's just what I do. Then you have Sex and the City, which my freshman roommate Maria was obsessed with Sex and the City. So I watched Sex and the City because she had the box set. I actually enjoyed Sex and the City.
I liked it.
Girlfriends was lit because
Way
Girlfriends was so much better.
So much better.
And, you know, like, it was like great, you know, Carrie out here still disrespecting all these men and wondering why she's single. But Girlfriends had like a whole
better writing and more character development. Like, and I felt like in Sex and the City, the characters were very much in their box. Like Carrie always did Carrie type things. She never really evolved. Samantha always did Samantha things. She never evolved. Miranda, like you could just like pretty much guess what they were going to do every episode. Like it wasn't a no-brainer. Like the characters never grew really. The growth of the characters was like shit changing around them, like getting married, having a baby, like, but not internal growth themselves. But Girlfriends, they like actually grew as people. Like they developed. Like when like somebody would make a choice that was out of character, it felt very human because I'd be like, damn girl, I can't believe you did that shit. But you know, like it was cool. Like Sex and the City was just like, well, we know what Carrie's gonna do, we know what Samantha gonna do, we know what Miranda gonna do, we know what the other one gonna do. I can't remember her name.
Can I also add, I wanted to say this earlier, Antoinette, my dad was actually the same. He would like, if for instance, if we were watching Boy Meets World reruns, right? And let's say I love Boy Meets World, my favorite show. So much. If we watched like 5 episodes in a row, my dad would come into the living room because we had like 3 seats, me and my brother and sister, and he'd be like, okay, y'all watching too much white people. And then he'd turn it. And then it would be like, he would click, I swear to God, he would like click it to like, That's So Raven or Sister, A Different World, Living Color. He would change it. He would be like, you are doing this with white people.
No.
I would also point out made me think I was gonna find my nerdy husband as well. Different World messed me up as I became an adult.
I had like so many unrealistic expectations.
So many. Like none of this is going to happen. None of it.
Where's my Dwayne? Where is my Dwayne?
Yes. Nowhere. Well, it's a sad story.
Just
Kelsey Grammer.
Y'all didn't know that Kelsey Grammer was the producer for that show?
Yeah, Girlfriends.
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
Yeah, I definitely knew that.
Yeah. How I learned it is I actually, at one point I used to own the box set and I would watch it all the way through to the credits. And I had the shock of my life when it was like producer Kelsey Grammer. I was like,
but you know what though? I didn't even really know his real name until I got much older. Like I would just call him the guy from Frasier. So I didn't even know his real name. So
actually facts, because I referred to him as the guy from Frasier for a very long time.
Really? That's funny. Yeah, he comes from like an acting family, like an acting dynasty of a family. So I was always aware of him. But yeah, it's just that shook me. I was shook. I was like, wow. And then I kind of saw him in like a new light. I was like, okay. I can support this.
I mean, yeah. I just I'm trying to think, were there any other shows that like I could make a correlation between the two of them where I was like, by the way, there's Black version.
That's terrible and really sad.
Oh, Frasier, what? I enjoyed, like, that was the thing. It's like, I enjoyed all of the, well, minus Friends and Gilmore Girls, and I never watched One Tree Hill?
That is my show. Yes.
Never watched any of those shows, guys.
I love that show.
Never.
Gilmore Girls is my life.
I watched
Gilmore Girls.
About.
What show did
his
you
daughter
watch?
is the voice of Rick and Morty. Get out of
That's
here!
Amazing.
I love it. Mom show. Rick and Morty is a stupid show, but it makes my heart very happy. Like,
his daughter was also on a show called Greek that was on ABC Family when it was ABC.
That was my freaking show.
I love that show. The blonde girl.
Oh, yes. I knew that. I knew that though.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was on Rick and Morty, but I knew that. Greek was my show.
Full House, bit off Cosby.
I used to have the Full House box set.
I liked Full House, but I can't watch too many episodes of Full House in a row.
I haven't watched it. I used to like, oh my God, did I ever tell you guys I accidentally busted my brother's stitches behind Full House?
How?
He walked into the room. He had just gotten fresh stitches on his eye. And he walked into the room and took the remote from me. And we were like going back and forth because I was watching Full House and he wanted to watch The Simpsons. We weren't even allowed to watch it. And so I was just like, no. But then I let go of it. He hit himself in the head with it and they popped.
Oh, girl.
And to date, he has a scar because you hear something, okay, this is really terrible. And my dad's gonna feel like a crazy person. But my dad was like, do you want to go to the hospital or you want me to sew it up? And then Giles like, can you just do it? And so he sewed it in I swear to God, if I had a picture of my brother right now, it's like it never healed correctly. was like just a scar right here.
I'm done with your daddy for today. No more stories. I'm done with him.
My dad, you know
I'm
what's so
done.
funny? You know what's so funny? My dad took my brother on his 21st birthday last year to the spot, which is a really popular club in Third Ward. And people would come up to us and they'd go, "Y'all know y'all daddy crazy, right?" They're like, "Yeah, you know." And we're just like, "Yeah, unfortunately, we know he's crazy."
Dang. Wow. I think my guilty pleasure all white cast show was Gossip Girl.
Oh, Gossip Girl's so good.
Gossip Girl and like Vampire Diaries. Those are like
I couldn't do Vampire Diaries.
Do Vampire Diaries, but I also was an avid person that was against everything Twilight. So Vampire Diaries came out during that era, and I was like, I will not. Nope.
Vampire Diaries is actually really, really good.
Like
they lost me after the first season.
It's emotionally draining, that show.
See, I can't do emotionally draining shows anymore. I lied. I still do emotionally draining shows because I watch things like This Is Us and.
Oh,
you're crazy.
Bless your heart. I would not watch that.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched this season for like 3 reasons. One, I really love that family. Like, I don't know what it is, but the way that they write that show, you just become so invested and so connected to the characters, like almost immediately. Like you watch 3 episodes invested. Like
that's why I've never watched it. I'm like, I refuse. No devil.
Mm-hmm. I walked into my dad boo-hooing and I didn't do it. I was like, nope. Charmed, yes.
Y'all want to know something disgusting? They remade Charmed. It's on Netflix. Don't watch it.
Yeah, they did. I refuse.
It's not good.
Oh, I did actually. Okay, so I did watch Once Upon a Time the first like 3 seasons.
Me too.
I think I saw.
Me too. They lost me though.
Around Frozen.
Okay. Ooh, y'all, Desperate Housewives. Who watched Desperate Housewives with me?
I love Desperate Housewives.
That was the show. That show was scandalous. I was like,
that was so. My little self was like, what is going on this show?
Nope. Every episode, you're like, can't.
It's like something new. It's like Grey's Anatomy. You're just like, what am I in for today?
Yes. That was the show.
I feel like there are.
I watched 90210 reboot.
What is that? The Sabrina show on Netflix. Don't they have black witches on there?
They do, but I think they play like.
Don't watch it.
Evil. Well, I mean, evil is relative on that show.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
really know. Because I watch a lot of cartoons and obviously a lot
has something to say about black witches. What did she say? Juju on Netflix is a bomb black witches web series. I might have to check that out.
Same.
Oh, YouTube. It's on YouTube, not Netflix.
Oh, okay. Yeah, YouTube, not Netflix.
I might have to look into that.
I'm intrigued. What was it? I forgot what I was about to say. What show? Well, no, I didn't watch a lot of. Like when we were younger, we weren't allowed to watch a lot of TV.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
there was 5 of us. My dad was just like, y'all gotta go do something.
Yeah, we were outside, so it was like go outside, be back home when street lights come on.
Yeah, we had that rule.
Yeah, but then like
the TV raised me and like taught me how to assimilate into American culture because that's all me and my brother watched like for hours.
We get that chance because we had AFN, which stands for Armed Forces Network, and that consisted of like 5 channels. So, like in Japan, when I lived on the last place we lived, we had cable. But the cable was like a week or 2 behind from what was being viewed in the States.
I'm done. Not a week or 2 behind.
I didn't know that until I moved to the States. And I was like, wow, like they skipped a lot in this show. And my grandma was like, no, they showed that last week. And I was like, word? But, so I didn't really watch. And I was going to do other things. I just didn't.
You know what?
And then in Germany. What movie?
Go ahead.
What movie?
I was gonna say, you know what movie my sister used to make me watch 24/7 with Will Smith in it, and I used to drive me crazy.
Oh no!
Bitch.
What?
Wild Wild West. Did you guys ever watch that?
The worst Will Smith movie.
The worst Will Smith movie.
Out of all the choices, that's literally the worst film he's ever
I
made.
swear to God, we had it on VHS, and at my grandma's house, we had the playroom where all of us would go. And my sister, she mind you, she's the oldest. So most of the time we didn't want to like argue with her. So she would put it in the Wild Wild West and I watched it over and over. I'm surprised. Remember, VHS would have the film, right? I'm surprised that film didn't get worn out because
he has
over
so
and over.
many, and that's the one that she
That's the
decided
one.
to. Oh my
Today, I bet you if I called her right now and was like, sis, you want to watch Wild Wild West? She'd be like, bet. I don't understand.
7 pounds.
Harley said he turned down The Matrix from that movie.
Because I remember he was talking about that in an interview, and he was like, "Yeah." He was
Oh
like,
my God.
I don't regret anything that I do, but I do know that I probably should have picked a different movie. And I was like, "Bruh, you."
I remember when that movie came out, we were all in shock because up until that point, he had never been in a bad film. So we were like,
what is this trash?
what is this?
I still to date don't know what that movie's about.
Oh my God, y'all, 101.
101.
That was
Moesha. Oh my God.
Moesha, the Parkers.
All
The
these
Parkers.
shows were so black.
Yes.
All of us. The Hugo.
All of these also
Yes.
had really bomb songs.
They
Oh
were
my God.
amazing.
Also, it was that, and then the shows that were on Nickelodeon, like My Brother and Me.
Yes.
Then
Cousin Peter.
the Cousin Skeeter.
Oh, Cousin Skeeter.
The weird. I think it was the Weird World of Alan Strange. Like,
Yes.
oh my God. So many.
There was also this old show on was it on Nickelodeon called Alex Mack or something?
Why that sounds familiar?
That sounds familiar.
Alex
Like,
Mack. Google it.
Okay, hold on.
I thought that was Alan Strange.
That sounds familiar too, but I remember Alex Mack. Also Ghost Rider.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all remember the show?
I remember the show, the chick from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes. That's why you
Yes.
recognize her when you watch the movie. You're like, hold on. I know your face.
That's like my favorite movie of all time.
Me too. Alex Mack. Y'all remember her? Like, I feel like her and Blossom were like my style icons. And Clarissa from Clarissa Explains It All were like my
Oh my
style
God.
icons. And Hilary Duff from Lizzie
And
McGuire.
Hilary Duff.
No, as a kid, I dressed as a boy.
Wait, what?
As a kid, I dressed as a boy, so I didn't have any style icons. I just wore my brother's clothes
Oh no.
because I had a whole lot of butt and a whole lot of thighs and literally nothing else. So
Nothing fit you right.
I was wearing like grown woman jeans and like extra small shirts because I had no boobs.
That's crazy.
I was like, I don't want to be a part of this world, so I'm gonna wear my brother's clothes and disappear.
See, my dad actually always bought me basketball shorts and baggy tees. So a lot of my childhood pictures, if I was wearing that, I was probably with him because he dressed me up. And it didn't help. My name was Troy and I had cornrows. So people used to think I was his son. I'm not joking.
I feel like that was his secret plan all along. Too.
And you know what's funny? Everyone asked, did your parents think you were a boy? And I was like, no, they knew I was a girl the whole time.
The Proud Family, yes.
The Proud
They have that on Disney Plus. I have been getting my life.
They're doing a reboot of it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, they're doing a reboot. It's official. Kyla Pratt announced it, so I was like, does that mean you're coming back?
I hope
Yeah,
so.
because Penny better sound like you. I ain't about it.
No.
You made an announcement, sis, so I better hear your voice on this. Like,
I agree.
don't make announcements. Disney didn't pay you to make that announcement if you're not on here. So, but I started watching that, Royals and X-Men. Those are the three that I've been watching. Well, sorry, it's 4: Gargoyles, Proud Family, X-Men, and the Clone Wars. Those are the 4 that I'm watching on Disney Plus right now.
Gargoyles is getting so like deep and serious. I have to take breaks from it. I'm like, oh god.
Well, now that I'm older, I'm like, was this show always this deep? Like,
It
I was just
was.
like, dang, I was just laughing and chilling when
Yes,
I was a kid.
going over our heads, and I'm watching it now, like depressed as fuck. I'm like,
oh my God, the world is trash, and Gargoyles were trying to tell us that in the early 90s.
I know. Like, this is why I have mental health issues now.
And then if you go back and like, what's another show that I watched that I was just sitting there like,
You know what show made my mom crazy uncomfortable?
What?
Cat Dog, where they were conjoined.
we did Cat Dog. We were not allowed to watch Cat Dog in our house because where do they poop? In each other's mouth? Don't do that in this house. That's literally my mom's response to it.
We weren't allowed to watch that, Rocko's Modern Life,
I couldn't watch that either. I had to sneak watch it.
Ren and Stimpy.
Nope.
Yep.
Ren and Stimpy was out of pocket.
Our Real Monsters freaked.
Oh yes.
She was like, "What is going on?" And Beetlejuice. She was not about Beetlejuice at all.
Beetlejuice is one of my favorite movies.
This is one of my favorites. No,
I love Beetlejuice.
you weren't allowed to watch.
Real Monsters. That is like my show. That was my show.
We're not allowed to watch. We're not allowed to watch Cat Dog, Ren and Stimpy, Rocko's Modern Life, Cow and Chicken.
I loved Cow and Chicken.
It was another show that my mom was like, absolutely not. I'm trying to think of the show right now, but I'm drawing a massive blank. It was in that same kind of category of crazy because it was just like, oh, yo, don't get me started. Who freaking Rugrats? Listen.
We used to have the orange VHSs.
Me too. Tommy was a douche. Chucky always, if you know, go back and watch Rugrats. Tommy was a douchebag. Chucky stayed in trouble.
Tommy tried to leave his brother in the jungle, so he is kind of a douchebag.
There was multiple times where Chucky was like, "Oh, why are you doing that?" And Tommy was like, "Are we with it or are we not? Is you a bitch or no?" Basically, is what Tommy did. Like, I was like, "Yo,
hilarious.
Chucky stayed getting girls, y'all." Like, it was multiple episodes. Chucky had a girlfriend. I was like, "All right, Chucky, okay, I see you."
I can't.
Then he would always be grinning at Susie, and I was like, "So Chucky also likes the swirl." Now that I'm older, I'm seeing things I never noticed as a child. Like, Chucky was down with the swirl. Don't let nobody tell you nothing.
Oh my God. All I know is those twins bothered me.
The what?
Oh, my mom hates twins.
The twins, they bothered me
Oh.
from Rugrats.
Phil and Lil?
I didn't get good vibes from them at all. Like, something up with them.
Every time we would watch, because like we would watch Rugrats around the time that my mom would be braiding hair. So she would be watching with us, and she'd be like, "Angelica needs her behind whooped. Why are the twins?" Like, that would be her like response every time we watched it. Like, why are the twins so disgusting? Why do they have to do this? Like, these are the worst parents of all time.
My mom used to be like, "All right, don't let Phil and Lil get your ass in trouble." Because they would always do bad stuff. So she would be like, "Okay, don't let them get you in trouble."
Because the little black girl, Susie, was actually the most like together,
level-headed,
and like
Their whole
smart.
Whole family was the most together. Their whole family was the most together.
Like, who made this show? Because you were rooting for us. You on our side.
So I got bored and I ended up down a really crazy YouTube.
Dill low-key deserved it.
I went down this weird YouTube hole where I started watching, you know, the animator for Fairly Odd Parents. He has a YouTube channel. And so like sometimes I go and watch like his animations or where he talks about like why he feels like his show ended. Because I love Danny Phantom, but I digress.
Didn't he turn out to be like a douchebag?
So I ended up watching all these videos about it, and like that's what they're saying, like he was a douche. But I ended up on this video of why the Rugrats were successful and why they ended. And like Klasky Supo was actually a married couple, and the show was until they got a divorce. And then once they got a divorce, everything started going downhill. But two things. One, the writers and the illustrators created Dee Dee as a caricature of the wife in the Klasky Csupo group, because when they had a baby, she was so obsessed with checking experts and like going to the extreme and being so dramatic when it came to their kids. So Dee Dee is a caricature of her.
That makes sense.
And then also she hated Angelica. Like she actually wanted Angelica written out of the story because she felt like Angelica was too mean to the babies and like it just didn't depict like a real like thing, and it like she ruined the story in her opinion. And that's how Susie was created. Susie was created as the counter to Angelica.
Right.
So Susie was what she wanted Angelica to be originally.
Makes a lot of sense because she literally was her foil.
And I was like,
damn,
YouTube has so many rabbit holes, but you know, people are so different. Brittany's version of rabbit hole is that, and mine is like watching a whole hour of how the Titanic sunk.
I've already watched all of those videos. I even watched a video where it was like a 40-minute video of all the ways that Jack could have survived.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, no, the worst YouTube hole I've been down is do not ask me how I got here. I do not know. I ended up watching all of these transition videos.
Yeah.
And then regret transition videos. And I was like, get here.
Those are
so fascinating. I'm like, and I'm glued. I watched like 15 of them at once before I stopped myself like, what am I watching?
You know it, it's like midnight and you're like, wow, how did I get here?
I ended up down a sugar baby hole. Like I ended up down a sugar baby hole once. That was interesting. Ended up down a stripper vlog once.
Yes. The best part though, is then that YouTube keeps recommending similar videos afterwards, and you're just like.
One day I watched a whole video of this girl like telling people how to like make a foot fetish business. And I was like, how did I get here? Like, what am I? I'm never going to do this. I don't even like feet. Like, it weirds me out.
Listen, while we're playing, feet make a lot of money.
They make a lot of money.
They do.
They do.
One girl I know, she's a Twitch streamer. She was like, a dude paid her like $1,000 for a picture of her feet. And like, he was willing to get her, he wanted her to get a deluxe pedicure and like record it.
Y'all, we in the wrong business. Let's leave YouTube.
Foot fetish pays.
Clearly.
Anybody who does it, get me on it. Listen, take a picture of my feet and get a pedicure for free. Bet.
Say no more.
You don't ever see my face. You only see my feet. Bet. Sign me up. I'll take it. You can even pick the color for an extra $20. Like, come on.
We got to change the subject.
Oh my goodness.
Can we talk about Hey Arnold real quick?
Ooh.
Listen, as
football
an adult,
head.
I watched Hey Arnold and I realized how many really serious topics that were addressed.
It's so deep.
The gentrification episode had me like, I think it was a movie actually. Hey Arnold.
No, it was a gentrification movie. It was a whole movie. Yo, hold on. We need to pause for 2 seconds.
My BDSM life. I got stories.
Yo. We're not.
Tell us.
Road. We're not. We're not.
I'll be sending you a message after this chat.
Like this for the podcast, because the podcast is going to be a little bit more raw and uncut.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for our podcast because the only thing I'm going to miss between the podcast versus our lives is that the lives we get live interactions. Yeah. Whereas the podcast, you know, you'll be able to send an email or we'll be able to read. We'll be able to read comments after, but we'll have to figure out how to do that because some of the best parts of our lives is when somebody comments something in the chat.
Y'all are the best.
Y'all are hilarious.
Literally. But we have to, we on BookTube now. We on BookTube. Y'all about to get us off of
Look. We're not monetized. We're trying to get monetized.
Josh doing all this.
we're about to mark this
We are
live.
advertiser friendly here, okay?
You gotta save it for the podcast.
We went the monster smut to BDSM. We are just quickly. We are gonna get marked as inappropriate content real quick.
Oh, my
Can't do it.
goodness.
I'm sorry. We gotta stay. We gotta keep it clean for book 2.
Listen, if you want to
We need a
become the
Discord.
of the Black Pros Discord, let us know because
Let us know. Okay.
3 of us do not have time to run it. But if somebody wants to become the manager of our Discord,
We're struggling just to run book Twitter, whatever, Bookstagram, all of our platforms. Goodreads.
It's too much.
It's a lot.
None of which we're ever active on.
Discord.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
That's cool.
I want to be a part of it.
Shout your name. Shout the name of the Discord out for anybody who's interested in or unless it's a closed Discord. If it's a closed Discord, I also understand.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I've always wanted to start a Discord. I just genuinely don't have the time to run a Discord. Like we would actually have to have like somebody in there moderating and stuff on our behalf because
I agree.
we are struggling with running the things we have going right now. Like without being able to schedule the stuff that I post on my Instagrams, there would never be anything on my Instagrams. So
Also, while we are in this nice little lull, Troy, you want to go ahead and announce? So your quarter, okay.
Oh.
So book club stuff. As y'all know, we're reading Black Girl Unlimited this quarter, okay? And the live will be in March, coming up shortly. We decided
the live will be
what is
March,
it? Third Sunday.
March 15th. It's every third Sunday of the month. So the next one is March 15th.
So if you guys haven't gotten your copies of Black Girl Unlimited, you still have some time. You have until March 15th. That's when we'll be discussing the book. So go ahead and get your copy and start reading with us so that we can discuss it together. But we've Troy is going to be heading our second quarter, which will cover the months of April, May, and June. And she's already got her pick. So I'm going to let her announce it here if you want to go ahead and reserve it at your library or whatever the case may be, if you want to go ahead and get your copy.
Okay, so I did have the book with me just in case I was going to forget if I didn't do this. But for my quarter, I know Brittany just can't wait. We're going to be reading The Worst Best Man, by Mia Sosa. Hey. See, I'm so glad Ocean Lake's here so I can have someone on my side.
Screenshot this right now.
Just like, basically what that means is that month where I promised you guys I would read nothing but romance and try to vlog myself reading romance for the whole month is actually happening. It'll probably happen in May or June. Because obviously I have to read a romance book for our book club.
I'm just telling you, after you read Brittany's book, you're going to need a lighthearted read. You're just going to need it.
Yes.
I need to go back and post things. Hold on. Oh, so their Discords are safe spaces.
I mean, that's fair.
If you guys are interested in joining their safe spaces, like send them a message directly. Have that conversation. See if that is a place for you. Otherwise, create your own space. If that's not, many spaces are created for, happy places. I want to do a Discord. It's just right now, maybe I'll figure out the Discord thing sometime at the end of the year. I just don't have time right now. Your girl is doing a little too much. Like I've always wanted a Discord.
In other book club news, stay tuned for our Throwback-a-thon announcement. It'll be coming out very shortly. We've decided to do it in May this year.
Yep.
So it's going to be during Troy's quarter. We are still fleshing out the details of, how we're going to do everything and stuff. But
if you follow us on our social media, we'll release more information as time goes by.
But we're definitely going to, get everything together for y'all and probably announce it towards I would say middle to end of April, so y'all will be ready for May and for the Throwback-a-thon this year.
Pause. Everybody is telling me that I have to read at least one Monster Smut during that time.
Well, we already told you you were, girl. I don't know what you thought.
I'm gonna have to let Oshale pick my Monster Smut because I don't need that in my.
Yeah.
I got you, girl. Trust me, I got you.
Oh,
just lean her into it.
A ton of recommendations. One last announcement. Brittany and I will be attending BookNet Fest this year.
Right.
Troy still in school, so stay in school, Troy. We got you, Troy. 2021, we got you.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. But you sounded so excited.
Oh, lots of people socializing, right up my alley.
I know. We're gonna have some type of breathing apparatus at the ready for you.
You guys, I told Oshale in the group chat, if I have a mental breakdown at any convention, she gonna have my therapist bill sent to her house.
We gonna get her to one of these one day, y'all. But Brittany and I will be attending BookNet Fest this year. For those of y'all who are curious about attending, tickets are on sale now. It'll be on the weekend of August 20th. That's a Thursday, but it's going to be on Friday and Saturday. So August 21st and August 22nd. We'll be there. So if you want to meet us in person, come say hi. And also BookNet Fest is just a good time in general. So you'll get to meet a lot of...
We go to Disney and that's really what counts.
Wow. Okay.
Listen, we do the event. Everything's cool. We do the panels. We talk about all this good stuff. I meet a lot of booktubers, and I get my life from meeting some people in person. Like we do like I did. Probably not as overwhelming as it was last year because I was meeting a lot of people that I watched on BookTube.
We're gonna take more breaks this year.
Yeah, like we're gonna have scheduled like let's all sit by the pool with the book time, and that part I can't wait for.
That'll be fun. But yes, so if y'all have been thinking about going to BookNet Fest, you're on the fence, you're not sure, just know that Brittany and I will be there this year. And if you are coming, we would love to meet you.
BookNet Fest is in Orlando, Florida.
At the Caribe Royale Hotel.
Yes, they currently have specials going on for their rooms if you want to book a room on site. But then there are also plenty of hotels like around the area.
And Airbnbs and
Airbnbs and stuff like that as well. So yeah, we went last year and we had a really good time. So we just want to keep kind of space because unlike BookCon and the other one, this one is really meant more for I'm gonna call us booktube influencers. I really hate using that phrase.
How about creatives on the booktube
platform?
Yeah,
it's great because you'll meet a lot of your favorite booktubers. You'll meet a lot of Black booktubers. We came out strong last year, and I have a feeling we'll come out strong again this year. It's a smaller con, so it's not as overwhelming. You actually get to talk to people one-on-one. The panels are actually really interesting. I mean, some of those panels were lit last year, so it's a good time. Some of those panels.
We're trying. When we finally get Troy to go, that's when we hope that we'll be able to get our podcast as a panel.
And we'll be able to do like, we're thinking of possibly doing a meetup in like next year at one of the cons. Whatever con we can convince Troy to go to.
When Troy has money to do one of these things, that is really the problem. My anxiety is not really what's stopping me.
Listen. We'll figure it out.
Also, but if you guys want more information, you can follow BookNet Fest on Twitter. Also follow its creators, Sam and
Marinas.
There we go. From Thoughts on Tones and
what is her YouTube name?
Hey, my name is Marinas.
Thank you. Those are the two. We loved it. We suggest it. If you want to start deep dive, if you want to start getting your feet wet into some like book related cons, this is a good one to start off with. Honestly, it's smaller, and a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot safer and less overwhelming.
Also,
than like a book expo or something.
in a funny way, most of the people there are just as awkward as you are, so you don't feel as awkward.
That.
That. And they have a prom at the end of it that y'all could enjoy. I went last year, so I feel like I'm probably going to do something else this year at the end of it, but it was fun. We had fun. We made it fun.
We did. With our little group, we had a good time.
Yeah, that mess was hilariously terrible. We were just like, oh my God, we're wilding out. It was as if we had never been to like a prom or something in our lives. You couldn't tell us nothing.
You couldn't. I liked the photo booth.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get the photo booth thing.
I know.
I should have jumped in there, but I didn't. But also, like, I wasn't dressed for prom. I couldn't find anything to wear. Me and my body have gone through struggles. We just don't. We don't do well.
I don't think that's what it was. I think you didn't know about it, right?
Yeah, no. Last year, I honestly didn't know about the prom until like a week before, and I was like, "Wait, there's a prom?" And by then it was too late to try to buy something because some girls came in there like dressed.
Oh, some girls were dressed.
Yeah, some people were dressed up.
I was like, "Oh wow, okay." They came.
I was like, "I'm
ready.
Wear these jeans, y'all. Just accept that."
Nobody even ended up caring at the end of the night.
My weave looked great, and that's what mattered.
It really did. That was a real.
Oh yeah, I really liked that one.
Yeah,
it
looked really good.
I was like, okay, sis. Mind y'all, I want y'all to know I went back to go order that wig again. It was discontinued.
The heartbreak.
Every single time
that wig is your like, I'm gonna get me a husband tonight wig.
Considering I didn't get one, that was a fail.
You could have though. You didn't want that husband. You didn't want.
T.
Flag on the play.
Like and live.
Wait, Brittany, what did I say? Y'all always trying to bring our book club chat to social media.
I know.
It's okay.
I forgot where I was. I'm so sorry, girl.
Anyways. Actually, cosplaying to prom sounds like a good idea.
That does sound awesome.
I would probably go as Tina because I
yes.
Like yeah, we're not talking about that subject. We're moving on. So we're not doing that today. We're not doing that today. She tried to put me out, guys.
It's about time to go anyway.
I'm gonna move my little million.
I'm
gonna go back to work on my computer.
We have been on here
almost 2 hours.
So it's about time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Do we have any other announcements? I can't think of anything else.
I can't think of anything else.
Nope, I think we covered all of them. We're now the Black Pros Podcast.
Don't forget to try our merch.
I'm kind of glad we didn't talk about the ratchetry of Black History Month. I felt like that would have been really depressing.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't think of anything on the fly.
No, instead we just talked about, foot fetishes and monster smut. Basic Black History Month stuff.
You gonna get this video like taken down.
I'm about to get flagged. My channel about to start this.
Wait, like YouTube has now, like not for kids.
Yes.
I'm about to get that. Like y'all are about to send my stuff because all of those lives happened on my channel.
They
have. Why do they keep happening on your channel?
I don't know. But
oh God.
Don't forget, if you check the link that's currently in the description box right now, you'll be directed to some Monster Smut t-shirts and hoodies and things. So get them while they're here because I don't know how long they're going to stay on that site.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We want to see how it's going to do and then we'll veer off. We might have to create a store at some point. But right now we don't have the time for that. So
We got to make a little bit of money first before we start.
Also, if anybody knows of any graphic designers, excuse me, please tell them to send one of us a message.
Yes.
We're working on our research, and we love to support those who support us. So if you know anybody, let us know. I think that's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you in March to discuss Black Girl Unlimited. Bye. Bye.